Hello, philosophers, and welcome to Philosophy 130 Ethics. My name is John Dryden. I'm the instructor for the course. And in the Start Here video, I simply want to get you oriented and make sure that you know what you need to know in order to get started. First, if you haven't had a course in Blackboard Ultra before, this is the default page, the course content page, which is what you will come into when you log into the course. And it's here that you'll spend most of your time. It's in these course content folders listed here that you will access the assignments for the week. I'll show you how to get those in just a minute, but this is the page that you'll spend most of your time on. However, I do want to mention that there are other pages here as well. So if you look up at the top left, there's a page for the calendar, which you can make use of if you'd like. There's also a discussions page. This course will make use of discussion boards. However, I will always link out to those in the course content folders. But in case you ever need to get back to some previous discussion board, you can always do that by clicking the discussions link here. And then very importantly, there's also a grade book, which shows what your grades are on all of the assignments. So it lists the assignment name, when it's due, what its status is, and if it's been graded, it will have a grade there. And then over here to the top right, you'll see a current grade, which gives you a snapshot for how well you're doing in the course at any particular time. So it's good to come back here just to see how well you're doing in the course. And then also, when we get to test and papers, it's through the gradebook that you'll get the feedback on that. And I'll show you how to do that once we get there. Okay, but that's the gradebook. And then finally, there's a messages page. I don't really make use of this page, but you can message other students or myself here. I should say I'm not in the habit of checking this very often. So if you need to get a hold of me, the best way to do that is by email. And I'll show you where my email address here is in just a minute. But there is the message feature in Blackboard Ultra as well. Okay, but under course content, to come back here, you'll see right now two folders. There's a Start Here folder, which just gives you orientation materials, the syllabus, and things like that. And then there's a folder for week 1, which contains all of the assignments that you need to complete for the first week of the course. And then, which will run from Monday to Sunday, so January 10th through the 16th. And then on Monday the 17th, a week 2 folder will open up, and that will contain the materials that you need to complete during week 2, and that process will continue for the 8 weeks of the course. Okay, but under the Start Here folder, I just want to highlight a few things. First of all, there's a course overview. I won't open that up, but that gives you a description of the course and the goals of the course. And also, if you haven't had a course in Blackboard Ultra, in the course overview, there's also a short video that shows you how to navigate Blackboard Ultra. So you might want to watch that if you haven't had a course in Ultra before. Under Course Instructor, you're going to find a little bit about me. You're going to find my contact information. So you can find that right here, my email address and my office phone number. Also, office hours. For my online class, I hold virtual office hours through a web platform called Blackboard Collaborate. These office hours are going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 3:30. So if you ever need to talk to me about something or need help with something, you can visit me in my office hours during those times. And the way to do that is simply by clicking this link here, Enter Office Hours, and that'll take you to the web platform that I use for that. Okay, under Syllabus and Rubrics, you're going to see the syllabus, which I do want to go over here because that's important, obviously. So you can see here the dates for the course, again, my contact information, another link to that virtual office space. A course description, so this course will introduce you to a critical examination of philosophical principles related to moral action and political values. And you can see the goals of the course. It's a general education course, and it also has goals that are specific to this course right here. For required textbooks, you already have access to the ebook, which I will link to through Blackboard, so there is nothing additional that you should need to purchase. I'll show you how to access the textbook here in just a minute, but there's 2 of them. One is called An Introduction to Moral Philosophy, which is a standard Introduction to Ethics textbook. And then there's also Readings in Moral Philosophy, which is an anthology of primary readings that corresponds with it. But again, you have access to both of those, and the price for these books is included in the tuition of the course, so you shouldn't have to pay anything to get access to these. If you have trouble getting access to them, of course, send me an email, but you shouldn't have to pay anything additional. Okay, then there's a little bit about required software, some technical skill requirements, kind of basic stuff here. Under attendance, time commitment, and student expectation, though, I do want to note something very important here. So, as I mentioned, the weekly assignments are always due at the end of the day on Sunday of the corresponding week. So the weeks, for the purposes of this class, run from Monday to Sunday. And so assignments are always due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. But there is one exception to that in week 1. So in week 1, there is a assignment called Should You Kill the Backpacker assignment, and that one's due earlier on January 12th. This is the way I register attendance for the course, and so you need to complete that to show that you're in attendance. Otherwise, you'll be administratively withdrawn from the course. So I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute, but it is important to do that one soon so that you don't get dropped from the course. Okay, then I won't read all of this to you, but do read through it in your own time. But under evaluation techniques, this shows how you'll be graded in the course. So the various kinds of assignments that there are and how they're weighted. Okay, so let me go through this very briefly. One kind of assignment is called lecture responses. So almost every week, I will deliver between 2 and 4 lectures over the week's material through a tool that's called VoiceThread. And VoiceThread allows me to deliver presentations, and it allows students to comment back on those presentations, either through text or audio or video. And during some of these lectures, I'll provide a prompt for you to respond to, and so you'll need to comment back in the way that I ask. Or some lectures might just require you to watch the VoiceThread and not comment back. But these lecture responses are worth 15% of your final grade, and I will show you in just a minute how to complete these, but that's one kind of assignment. And then also every week there is a discussion board that you will be required to write on. So I will provide an initial post and you are to answer that prompt. And then the following week you will come back and offer replies to other students' initial posts from the previous week. So for example, during week 1 there's an initial post which you'll respond to. And then in week 2, you're going to come back to that week 1 discussion board and reply to 2 other students. And again, I'll have some direction on how to do that when we get there. And then there will also be a new initial post for week 2 to write on as well. So that will be the pattern for the discussion boards. But those are collectively worth 15% of your final grade. Then every week there will also be a quiz over the reading from the textbook. And these are multiple choice quizzes, and they're worth 20% of your final grade. Next there's critical analysis papers. So starting on the second week of class, next week, I will provide a paper topic every week. You do not, however, need to write on every paper topic. Okay, so total there's going to be 6 critical analysis papers assigned, but you only keep your top 2 scores. You can write on as many as you would like. Of course, you should at least write on 2 of these topics because you're going to keep your top 2 scores. But the more you write on, the more you'll be able to, the more scores you're going to be able to drop, right? So, for example, if you, write 4 of the 6 assigned papers and you only keep your top 2 scores, that means the 2 low scores are going to drop. Okay, so I will provide some instruction for that beginning next week, but these are short, 800 to 1200, that's about 3 pages, double-spaced, papers on a reading in the primary text from Readings in Moral Philosophy. So I'll have much more guidelines on that next week, but again, 6 of them are going to be assigned. Don't let that scare you. It's not like there's 6 papers that you're going to be graded on. You're only going to be graded on 2 of them, but again, you can write as many as you would like. The more you write, the more you can drop. Okay, so that's the critical analysis papers. And then finally, there is a final exam during the last week of the course. I will provide you with a study guide at least 2 weeks prior to the due date of that test, and that'll consist of multiple choice questions and some essay questions, and that's worth 20% of your grade. Okay, so you can see the lecture responses are worth 15% of your grade, discussion boards 15%, quizzes 20%, the 2 critical analysis papers that you will keep, those 2 scores collectively will be worth 30% of your grade. and then the final exam is worth 20% of your grade. Okay, and then you can see the grading scale here, standard grading scale. There's also a schedule of topics, so this just lets you know what the basic topic will be for each week of the class. And as I mentioned here, for the purposes of this class, the weeks begin on Monday and then on Sunday, and assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday of each week, again with that one exception during week 1, which I'll show you more about here in a minute. Okay, I won't read the rest of this to you, but I think it should be pretty self-explanatory. Most of this other stuff is pretty standard fare, but do read through that when you get a moment. So that's the syllabus. And then underneath the syllabus, first of all, you'll find a link to the Word document of the syllabus. If you want to download that, you can. But it's all the same information that we just went over. But below that, there are rubrics, which give you an indication for how I will grade different kinds of assignments. So there's a discussion board rubric, which shows you how I grade the discussion boards, a critical analysis paper rubric, which shows you how I grade those papers, and then test essay rubric, which shows you how I grade the essays and the final exam. I wouldn't really look at the critical analysis paper or test essay paper just yet because we're not quite there yet, but it might be a good idea to at least look at the discussion board rubric since there is a discussion board for you to write during week 1. Okay, so that is syllabus and rubrics. Below that, we have links to the 2 textbooks. So I will always link out to the chapter that we're reading for the week in the weekly folders, but these 2 links take you to the ebook as a whole. So in case you want to go to some other chapter, when it comes time to write the paper, for example, that might be useful. But you can come here, click this link, click launch, and that'll take you to the textbook. And then you'll see the chapters, and you can click on one of the chapters, and it might ask you for a survey. So that will take you to the chapter, and you can navigate through the sections of the chapter by clicking these arrows on the bottom of the page, as shown here. Okay, so that's the textbook. That's the textbook entitled An Introduction to Moral Philosophy. You can see the table of contents here. Okay. And then also there is the link to the other textbook. So this is the Anthology of Readings in Moral Philosophy. So that is accessed in a similar manner. Like so. Okay, and it's got the various readings here, which you can go to. Okay, so there's that. And then another link to the virtual office space. That's all that is. Course voice threads. So as I mentioned, there's that tool called VoiceThread, which I'll use to deliver presentations on and for you to comment back. I will always link out to those voice threads in the weekly folder, so I don't think you really ever need to come to this link, but in case you want to come back to some previous voice thread, you can do that by clicking this link. And then very importantly, after you get done watching this video, please watch these 2 videos, how to submit a VoiceThread watch assignment and how to submit a VoiceThread comment assignment. So there's 2 kinds, these are the lecture responses. Okay, so there's 2 kinds of VoiceThread assignments, a watch assignment, which just requires you to watch the video, and then a comment assignment, which requires you to both watch and comment back on the presentation. And so these 2 videos will show you how to complete both of those assignments. So it is important that you watch those 2 videos when you're done watching this video. Okay, and then under additional resources for online courses, this just contains things that might be valuable for any online course you take at ECTC. So a little bit about netiquette, technology troubleshooting resources, academic resources, links to the library, things like that, what to do if you need accommodations, help using Blackboard Ultra. Okay, all of those are under additional resources for online courses. Okay, so that is the Start Here folder. And then once you've looked through all of that and watched those videos on how to complete VoiceThreads assignments, then you'll want to actually begin working on the course. So to do that, you're going to go to the Week 1 folder, and this will be the pattern that will happen every week. So every Monday, a new folder will open up. And the first thing you're going to want to do is read the overview and instructions. Okay, so you'll want to click this first, and you can see that it will give you some learning objectives. These are just the goals for the week. And then under module activities, that lists everything you need to do for this week. And you can see it's divided up into 2 units. I usually divide it up into somewhere between 2 and 4 units. And that's just designed to help you pace yourself. Okay, so I wouldn't try to wait until Sunday night, for example, to complete all of this. So these unit folders kind of help you pace yourself. Maybe take one unit a day. But anyway, you can see the instructions here. Under Unit 1.1, it says to introduce yourself to the class by clicking on the Class Introductions voice thread. And then complete this Should You Kill the Backpacker game, again, which is due earlier on January the 12th. Okay, and then some readings from the textbook, a lecture response, and a discussion board. That's in Unit 1.1. And then Unit 1.2, a reading from the textbook, another lecture response, and then a quiz over Chapter 1 from the book. Okay, so to complete these assignments, you then go to the unit folders. So under Unit 1.1, you'll see all the links that you need to complete for the instructions that were under Unit 1.1 in the module overview and instructions document. So for example, the first instruction was to introduce yourself to the class by clicking on the Class Introductions voice thread. Okay, so the way to do that is you'll click this link, and you will see a voice thread video of me introducing myself. There I am.
Hello, philosophers.
Okay, and so you'll watch this video. This will just give you some information about me, but it's also going to be the way in which we all introduce ourselves to each other in the course. So after you get done watching this video, you will need to comment back introducing yourself. So to do that, what you will do is click this speaker bubble icon with a little plus sign in it, make a comment. You'll click this, and then you can choose either webcam, which will record a video of you, or you can just use your microphone and use audio only if you'd like. Or if you don't have a webcam or a microphone on your computer, you can also use the telephone, and if you click this, it will ask you for your phone number. You'll put that in, and then it will call you, and then it will record your voice. So you can do it that way too. I guess everybody's got a phone, right? So anyway, so you can choose one of those methods. I'll just use the record an audio comment here, but you'll click this and it will count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and begin recording you, and you can introduce yourself to the class. Okay, so there is that. And then also I left instructions underneath here about how to leave a voice thread comment in case you need a reminder about that. And then very importantly, that Should You Kill the Backpacker game. So this is, again, the one that's due on the 12th that you need to complete in order to stay enrolled in the course. Okay, so what this is a game that tests the consistency of your moral views. Don't worry if you do badly on this game or do well on this game. It's not graded, but again, you do need to complete it to stay enrolled in the course. But just this kind of gives you a little food for thought here. So if you click on this link, it will take you to an external website, and it will give you some instructions, and basically it's going to present you with a bunch of scenarios, and it's going to ask you whether you think the person in the scenario is morally responsible or not morally responsible. And so you just say what you think, and then click Submit. And I'm just going to rush through this real quick. I'm just going to select yes to everything, but of course you will want to actually read them and make your own judgments. And once you get to the end, it's going to give you a result. So let me show you, and it's that result that I want you to cut and paste into the Should You Kill the Backpacker assignment. So let me show you how to do that. It's going to ask you for some demographic information. Okay, and it will give you this result with your tension quotient. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is cut and paste this paragraph into the Should You Kill the Backpacker assignment. So to do that, just highlight this, right-click, hit Copy, Okay, then come back to Blackboard, and underneath the link to this game, you will see Should You Kill the Backpacker assignment. So click the link to this, click View Assessment, and then in the text box, right-click and hit Paste, and it will put your tension quotient in there, and then click Submit, and Submit again, and that's all you need to do for that. You can download this confirmation if you want, okay, but I'm just going to close that out. And then you have completed the Should You Kill the Backpacker assignment. Okay, so again, you do need to complete that by the 12th. Then you can see the link to the reading here. So it asks you to read pages 1 through 9 from your textbook. So if you click this link, it'll take you to the beginning of chapter 1. And you can read pages 1 through 9. The page numbers are listed over here on the left. And again, you can navigate through the sections with these arrows. And you will just keep reading until you come to page 9. You can see this is page 10, so you'll want to stop here. And then come back and then go to lecture 1.1, which will be a voice thread of me giving you a presentation. In this case, it's going to ask you to respond back. And so you're going to give a comment back where I prompt you in the voice thread video. And then you'll respond, leave your comment, and then after you get done watching the voice thread, you'll click Submit Assignment. And again, that video that's in the Start Here folder about how to complete the comment assignment goes over how to do that, but there's the link to that. And then there's a discussion board assignment. So if you click this link, it'll take you to that, and you can read the prompt and then respond to the prompt here. Okay, and then type your response and click Respond, and that will be the way to complete the initial post for discussion board number 1. And then you can move on to Unit 1.2, which again has another link to the textbook. So you're going to read the rest of Chapter 1, and then there's another lecture for you to respond to, and then finally a reading quiz, which will be a multiple choice quiz over Chapter 1 from the textbook, which you will have read by the time you get here. Okay, also on these quizzes, they are timed for 15 minutes. They're 10 questions, multiple choice, but you do have 3 attempts, okay, and you're going to keep your highest score. So you can take it up to 3 times, and whatever your highest score is, that's the score that you will keep. Okay, so that is how to get started with week 1, and then on Monday, the 17th, a week 2 folder will open up, and that process will continue again, and we'll make our way through the course. Looking forward to getting to know you all through your introductions and that voice thread introductions presentation, and I look forward to the course ahead. Thank you.